This isn't gonna sound exactly like the projectile sound, but just to show you the effects chain and how it works. I have a basic shapes sound in Serum here that is just a square wave with a filter, and I automated the filter with this curve, which is similar to the projectile curve. So that's the sound, and depending on how the filter is set, it's gonna sound very different. So if you open it more, you'll get a very different sound. And it relies on some of the post-processing effects. So in here I don't have any effects, but it heavily relies on these ones. So I have Redux for bit crushing. You can use any bit crusher for this. I've set it to a value of 24 on the hard mode, but you can mess with this yourself because every different setting sounds very different. So you can get these like old school yoys that way. Can even automate this. And then I have a vocoder here, and this contributes massively to the sound. So without the vocoder it sounds like this, which is very high and heavy, but then when you add the vocoder it just kind of nicely rounds it out. And for Projectile I used vocodecs in FL Studio, but you can get a similar sound with the vocoder here. And the important controls that I've changed is, first of all, the bands. I've set it to 40. The bandwidth is a really important one to mess with. Then the attack, I've set it pretty low. The depth a little bit lower than default. And the release time is just about default. And then you can also mess with the format. This also messed up the sub quite a lot, so you can still use the parallel processing technique that I showed you before, or the multiband processing technique. I've also dialed down the dry wet just slightly to bring out more of that clean high end. Then I have just a glue compressor and some heavy multiband compression just to make the volume louder so you can hear it properly and to just raise the perceived volume overall.